This week, the two movies that were chosen were incredibly poignant. I've seen both of them previously, so I knew kind of what I was getting into, you could say. I remember when I went and saw BlacKkKlansman in the movie theater, I was pretty much yelling at the screen. I was really angry and couldn't be quiet about my anger, and my friend was sitting next to me. She was a little bit embarrassed, but I think that type of movie is supposed to make you feel that way, as is Get Out. I've seen that one previously as well, and even in my second viewing of this movie, I'm still in awe of how crazy amazing it is, and just the social commentary that goes with it is pretty interesting. So this week, I think I would like to address the theological nature of both of the films, and also I think that just the genre about white privilege as well, because these are two important topics. So with the theology of the film, if you look at BlacKkKlansman, there are so many elements in it that theology in it is wrong. The way that the KKK addresses the theology of white is superior is infuriating, but the way that it is addressed with I can't remember his name at the moment, but the detective, African American detective, and the way that he goes into that situation is phenomenal. And then also with, and unfortunately I can't remember the name of him either, but the Jewish detective, just having that dynamic going into a rhetoric that is so full of hate is just fascinating, and the fact that it is based on a true story just blows my mind. But with the unfortunate ties to real life, it is so profoundly difficult for me to understand how any group of people could attack another group of people because of the way that they, just the way that they were born, the color of their skin, or their heritage, or anything. It's just beyond me, and to think that people use the Bible to justify that, and that God wants it that way, is beyond me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that is definitely something that we can think about theologically with that film, in very, very in particular. There's a part in it where he asks Patrice, I think is her name, and I apologize for getting these names wrong, but he asks about the incident where she is pulled over by the cop, and she says something along the lines of, they don't treat us like children of God. And that makes me think about how we treat people of different color than us, and race and class, and any sort of and after that, and many times we don't view them as children of God, and it's inappropriate, because that's not the way that God wants it to be. Thinking about Get Out theologically is, I feel like, a little deeper, simply because that one is social commentary on how African Americans are treated by not only the citizens of their communities, but also their government, and the way that the Armitage family tries to play God in it is devastating, simply because they think that they can use the African Americans that they have taken hostage as a superior race so that they can live longer, is just crazy. So that they take life into their own hands. They take just everything, the morality of it, and the ethical background behind that is so broken. And I know that in Deep Focus it talks about how Jordan Peele tweeted that movie shows the way that African Americans are suppressed in society by our government, and how in the sunken place, that means that that goes along with the way that the government and police force and every racist society treats them, and how they are screaming for help but they are being silenced. And I think that that's important for white viewers to realize and to recognize, because while we are not necessarily outrightly like against African Americans, I mean, obviously I'm not, but we need to start looking at the way that society is oppressing them and how we can step up. And I think that that's important, because as Christians, that's what we need to do, especially right now. So those are my thoughts theologically. I think I'm just going to go ahead and talk about that tonight instead of both topics, because my time is almost up. But I found these films fascinating. Like I said, I've seen them before. I will see them again, and I recommend them to everybody. They are amazing to me, and I think that the directors make a great point, just addressing the way that they are feeling in society right now, and I think it's important that we have these films out there. So, thanks.